Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs podcast. We're your hosts, Dan and Andy. Andy, how are you?
I'm good. I'm dry. That's all that matters.
Yes, it's raining right here in the Twin Cities. We're on season 5, episode number 43. This is the Songs edition. Today is August 29th, 2024 as we speak. This is our last episode of the month of August. September, we get into the soundtracks. That'll be fun.
September soundtrack.
September soundtracks, we're calling it. So each episode in the month, each Thursday in September, we'll review a soundtrack. Now, What we got tonight is a songs edition, and we've got a band here that we've never covered before. We're going to do an album review for A Perfect Circle, Andy, and here it is. Now, Perfect Circle, this is another Maynard James Keenan group. He's done... of course, Tool and then Pucifer. But A Perfect Circle is his other band. Now, this is the second studio album by American rock band A Perfect Circle, released September 2003. The album sold well, charting at number 2. Honestly, when this first came out, I was not a big fan. I didn't follow alt metal, alternative, art rock or alternative metal. Did you follow any of this stuff?
I remember hearing their name. I probably heard a couple of the songs and didn't think twice about it. Like, oh, hey, I got to get this one. Or I probably heard their stuff. I remember hearing the name and, it's kind of whatever.
Their debut album was Murder Noms, 2000, and then 13th Step. So this is Maynard James Keenan. Now, the concept. This is a concept album, which I also didn't know. It talks about the different aspects and perspectives of addiction and the recovery from it. The album's title itself is a reference to the 12-step program of Alcoholics Anonymous. So, what they talk about here is the songs in 13th Step. The album is called 13th Step. And remember, there's the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. They talk about, for the most part, all the songs about the various process of addiction, behavioral addiction, chemical addiction, things like food, eating disorders, and things like that. Each song is kind of sung from a different perspective. And I think if you understand this concept before you pop this in and you listen to the lyrics, it will make a lot of sense. I have a lot of friends, Keenan says, who's gone through a lot of these situations. He has not, but some of the songs are sung from the perspective of the drug, which I thought is very interesting.
Yeah.
Some of the lyrics are from the perspective of the drug. Some are from the perspective of someone who has realized they have an issue. And also from the person that realizes that if they don't do something, they're going to die. Other songs are about the perspective of the person who is in denial about a loved one that's dying right before their eyes. And in the case of the song The Outsider, the lyrics are sung from the perspective of a person who doesn't understand at all what their friend is going through and what their loved one is going through. And they think that it's more like a sprained ankle that they can just walk it off. So this is some heavy stuff. This gets really deep into the therapy, the counseling. Once again, the Maynard James Keenan, these songs are all about, you almost have to have a degree in psychology to understand this stuff, but it's going very, very deep into those things. Once again, the 12 steps. The 13th step, I think, was what he was referring here, is almost the final step, the completion. Almost, if you were to call it the, reaching, not absolution. What's the word? Reaching the pinnacle and understanding everything. And so you do the 12 steps to get over the issues, but then you got to reach that 13th step to become all the way there. And he's talking about some of these forms of therapy only go to the 12 steps, but they don't go all the way to the end to deal with those things. Many people who are not familiar with addictions or disorders think, like he says here, it's more like a sprained ankle. Well, he'll get better. Well, she'll get better. Over time, they'll get better. They can just walk it off and everything will be just fine. And then we'll get all back to normal. But it's a big thing. Keenan has not struggled with the addiction firsthand, but drew from it from experiencing things happen to others around him, such as Lane Staley from Alice in Chains, things like that. So here's the listing, the track listing. And I like how each one of these songs, it's a concept. And I read somewhere, even in the comments section on the YouTube video, that you really have to listen to this in order. You can't play the songs the way you want them to play, or your favorites, for
Yeah, you
instance.
can't put them on shuffle. You got to play it from one to
They're
the other.
not really, this is a concept. It's mainly press play on song one and let it just go, and don't be skipping anything. The first song is called The Package. The next song is Weak and Powerless. Next song is The Noose. Next song is Blue. That talks about going through an overdose where you're with someone and they're actually turning blue in front of you. All these are very uncomfortable topics as well. Next song is Vanishing. Next song is A Stranger. The next song is The Outsider. Next song is Crimes. Next song is The Nurse Who Loved Me. Now, I thought this was ties all back into this, someone getting help or therapy, but it actually was a cover song from the band Failure. It's a cover song. And then the final three songs are Pet. Once again, having a drug addiction, you're kind of the pet. You may think the drug is the pet, but vice versa. It's you, the one. So it's very deep lyrics. Song 11 is Lullaby. The comments of this really sounds like someone, shooting up heroin, and the days you go into, or the lullaby of falling asleep, of being high. So a lot of topics being addressed. Last final song is Gravity. So it's a concept album. They recorded this in between January and June of 2003. It was released September after Labor Day of 2003 at Perfect Circle Studios, North Hollywood, California. It's considered alternative metal, art rock, or hard rock. 50 minutes and 36 seconds long. I listened to it, Andy. It does go by quickly. I was, not a big fan when I first saw that it was 50 minutes. I wanted to get through this, but it is one that you've got to focus on. So 50 minutes is perfect. The label is Virgin. The producer here is Billy Howardell. So Billy was putting this together, and I guess as a concept album, this is basically his album. It's like, Trent Reznor, Nine Inch Nails. It's his stuff. He had the music written and composed for this entire album. And Maynard James Keenan was finishing up a tour and kind of helping on the side when he could with the album Lateralis. And then when that got done, he says, okay, now I can work on this full time. And Howardell said, yeah, that's fine. You can work on this if you want, but I'm really got all this stuff geared for a female vocalist. I haven't never really considered having a male vocalist do this. Maybe like the gal from Hailstorm or something was maybe who he had lined up to do this. And he heard Maynard James Keenan do this in his own, vocals once again. And he goes, you know what? This is good. Let's stick with it. Let's do this. They wrote the lyrics, got the songs together, recorded it, tracked it, and released it. It did sell 1 million albums. It went platinum. And so very interesting things. Now here's the personnel, Andy. And we can talk about this a little bit too. Once again, this is not a band; it's a concept album. It's kind of, they're bringing in studio musicians.
Yeah, that's
people to come in and play certain songs or do certain instruments on various songs. So Maynard James Keenan, lead vocals, executive producer. A lot of his money is into this because at this point, when Tool was so successful, he had lots and oodles of cash to do things with special projects. Billy Howardell, guitar. John Freese, drums. Twiggy Ramirez, bass. Troy Van Leeuwen, guitar, but only on 3 songs.
Yep.
Paz Lenchiton does the strings. One song on the song Gravity has strings. He does that. And Danny Lohner does the guitar on the song The Noose. And once again, it's interesting stuff. It's not my taste. It's a learned taste. It has to grow on you, but it's some very good songs. Now, they did release 3 songs that you probably have known from various on the radio. Weak and Powerless was one that I'm sure most people are going to know. The Outsider and Blue are the 3 songs that they released. But the Maynard James Keenan fans, the Tool fans, all jumped onto this, and that's where they got the fans from.
Yep.
And Billy Howardell. I mean, they didn't have to work too hard on a new band. They've already basically had their fans and their their following was already dealt with, and they had the money to go ahead and do this. Now, if anyone knows the symbolism or what that means on the front album with the gal on the front there with that caterpillar looking thing, is I'd like to know what that is. I tried to find it. I could not find it. What that means or what that resembles.
Yeah, I'm not positive with caterpillar.
I'm not sure, but it does go deep if you're into that sort of thing. Yeah. Very powerful. The comments, Andy, if you read the comments for each one of these songs, 99% of the comments are written by people overcoming or people in recovery or have recovered from substance abuse, and they love this music. They said it's the most not welcoming, but the most you feel it really brings you into the mold of what the message is trying to say with the various lyrics. It really has a good message to all this. So that's what it is. I listened to it, twice, liked it. It's once again, the music is very advanced. The entry level, someone who likes basic music is not going to appreciate or respect the music, but I can see that. Good guitars, very good bass on this. And they only did, I think, the 3 albums for A Perfect Circle. But there are tribute bands out there that cross over and do some of these songs on tribute bands. That's what I've got, sir. A Perfect Circle, 13th Step.
All right. Let's go to some concert information here from our friends at Medina. Let me just click my button here. There we go. Now, of course, we need tickets for Medina to catch Mike down at the food court.
Yes.
Remember, school has started, so he won't be there as early in the afternoon now, but or I should say
Richmond Arcade.
School has started. So you can catch about 3:15 down there at the mall. Def Legend, Saturday, October 26th. Halloween party with costume contest and prizes.
Andy, we've been there before, and people do dress up, even regardless if it's Halloween or not. The costumes are wild at these shows.
Yeah, a lot of people kind of dress back to the 80s. Some of them really shouldn't be wearing their same clothes from the 80s. Not that I wanted to talk.
It's good people watching. Some are very good. Some are not so good, but it's great to look at, and no one cares. It's just a fun atmosphere. But especially,
it's cool. I used to have that shirt in high school.
Yeah, you'll see some Zubas.
No way I could fit into it again, but I had
wild,
that shirt.
Big hair for the ladies. It's all basically 80s stuff, but this is an actual costume contest with prizes.
And there's usually 1 or 2 guys who can still pull off the mullet at those shows too.
You'll see some mullets for sure.
Night Moves, a Bob Seger tribute band, and the Rolling Stoners, November 23. Free Fallin', that'd be Tom Petty and the boys. December number 7, special guest Our House, a tribute to Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young.
Okay.
Thunderstruck, America's AC/DC band with Southern Express Band. All right, December 13th. We are going to be there.
We'll be there. We got tickets.
We got tickets to the show. I am going to be staying the night because I don't trust myself. If you have never seen Thunderstruck, look up for the guitarist. Look up Kyle, the guitar guy. Look him up on YouTube. Look these guys up. I've looked into the Southern Express Band, the opening act for them. That's kind of a Southern rock band. So 2 kind of different genres, but you know what? If you like one, you're like them both. Very excited for this show, seeing both of them. We shall see what happens.
And at Medina, they've got the restaurant next door, the hotel next door. Yeah. If you want to, book the rooms to spend the night, go there and have a dinner or stay overnight and have the breakfast the next morning. It's all very on the same location, so it's a great spot. Medina is also a venue as well. Like I said, we will be there. So more than likely, we will be doing a follow-up review show the following week, I'm guessing. I'm just thinking out loud, but should be good stuff. They're always good.
There will be lots of pictures. Only a few of them will be posted, but lots of pictures will be taken. The next night, the Saturday, number 14 of December, Trilogy, which is Doors, Pink Floyd, and Zeppelin, with special guest Jimi Hendrix tribute. So
see this. I think that if you were a fan of 1 or 2 of these bands,
you could
you're gonna love it all. You don't have to be a fan of everything, but a
Yeah.
Doors tribute, Jimi Hendrix tribute, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Are you
Jimmy opening
kidding
up.
me? That's
You
gonna be
hear Jimmy?
wild stuff. Wild stuff.
You may listen to Jimmy, but can you hear Jimmy?
Yes.
Some more concert stuff from, hard to believe, other places than Medina. Nordic Brew Pub is going to have Hellion and Queen of the Reich. Yay. Friday, December 13th, 7 p.m. Check out friends of the show there.
So we won't be there, but that's going to be an excellent show.
Yep. Good friends of the show there for both of them. So see them, check them out.
That's a Judas Priest. No, Hellion is a Judas Priest, right?
Yeah, and then Queen of the Reich is Queen's Reich. Yeah.
Queen's Reich.
Then Looks That Kill, a Motley Crue tribute. So there's a few Motley Crue tributes in the area here. These guys are going to be at Nordic Pub on Friday, August 30th. That'd be tomorrow. So maybe give these guys a peek. Nothing against the other two Crue tribute bands, but which is kind of weird. There's 3 Crue tribute bands in the area.
Yeah, that's
popular.
I like
Crue, but wow, that shows you the kind of demand, supply and demand for Motley Crue bands.
Now, speaking of supply demand, what's listed there on the bottom? There is that the opening act?
The Dirty Girls are going to be there.
Okay.
I think that might be the backup singers. Motley Crue towards the end had 2 backup singers.
This should be good. Once again, Nordic Brew Pub does a lot of heavy metal, a lot of rock stuff, a lot of metal.
$10 to watch girls in leather dancing.
Yes,
worth the price of admission alone.
And it's a brew pub. They serve their own regular beer there as well, but it also brew pub beers if you want to try some other things there. They also have a restaurant. There's a restaurant in there. If you want to get there early, eat, come out and see the show.
Live in concert, REO Speedwagon with Loverboy, November 19th, up in Duluth, the Amstel Arena. And the quote of the week. Dun, dun, dun. Michael Sweet of Stryper had this out. It's interesting to see people comment on their distaste for Stryper. Often they say they don't like us, yet they really aren't familiar with us. They would never admit that they most likely it's the lyrical content. And if that's true, how sad. Excuse me. To not like something you don't even understand. Yet people will listen to bands praising Satan, sex, and God knows what else, and lift a beer and say, "I love this." The world is very
peculiar place.
That's a tongue twister to me. Peculiar place.
Yes.
He goes, I love Judas Priest, but I don't love most of the lyrics. I can still enjoy the music and appreciate the musicianship. And that's what I think we've been saying a lot too. A lot of albums we've covered. I like the music, but the lyrics, they kind of suck. Or vice versa. Sweet's trying to say here. He loves Judas Priest's music. He's not a fan of the lyrics. Probably not a big fan of Rob Halford's lifestyle, but he likes the music.
But the quote by Michael Sweet, this entire quote is spot on. And it needs to be said, and probably said more often, because there's a lot of hate out there for Stryper. And what he's addressing is they're from people who don't know Stryper. They don't listen to their music. They don't even know them. And they're the ones complaining.
Christian band, don't want to hear it. Listen to the music part. Okay, so maybe you don't like the lyrics. Listen to the drums. Listen to some guitar. Michael Sweet, for those of you who don't know from Stryper, he filled in for a few years as lead vocals for the group Boston. He's done some awesome albums and work with George Lynch from Dokken. So, George Lynch is in Dokken. He worked with George Lynch, for crying out loud. And those songs are not Christian-based songs. They're just good rock and roll songs. Awesome guitar work by both of them. Just grow up and pull your head out and listen to music.
It is. It's an immature thing, but it's true. You see a lot of that in the comment section of bands because they just automatically assume something and without doing the homework.
Yeah. John Corabi, who he was Vince Neil for 1 year in Motley Crue when they all got pissy at each other. He wants to make a blues album with Mick Mars.
Okay.
You don't think this didn't get me excited? I am.
This should be a jackpot.
Because Mick loved the blues. He said it in all his albums. He was a big blues influence. He said one of his great influences growing up was Jeff Beck, who he just lost a few years ago. So if this comes to fruition, oh my.
This could be very good with these guys here.
This would be something I would camp out at Musicland for if it was still a thing.
Yes.
Birthday, got one birthday. I kind of mentioned it earlier a little bit, not at the birthday part, but the person part. Rob Halford, born August 25, 1951. Happy birthday to Mr. Halford, who's got an awesome beard. He loves cats. Great follow on Instagram. He's got cats on little like metal shirts all the time. It's kind of cool.
He's a very good follow.
A new release. Now it's just not a whole album. It's a single you can find on YouTube. I put a video on our page the other day. It was Bruce Kulick from Kiss along with Eric Singer, the drummer. And Eric Singer was doing the singing, doing Bryan Adams' Heaven.
Okay.
Awesome hit. Bryan Adams' new single of the Kiss version, War Machine, which he helped co-write with Gene Simmons.
Remember that? 82, right?
Yeah, we've mentioned that before. Well, here it is. He's released it. There he is. The Canadian gap-toothed pretty boy. So there it is. Go to YouTube. You can't click the link if you're watching it here. Just trust me. Go to Hair Metal Giants on Facebook. You'll find it, or just put in Bryan Adams War Machine. I'm sure it's going to come up. Now, Andy, you put one of your sports report. No. Injury report for the songs page.
Okay.
The Scorpions must cancel all upcoming Germany dates in September of 24 due to an injury to Matthias Jabs.
Matthias Jabs
is injured.
Injury report? Okay.
And needs rehab.
See?
You can't really just take someone off the bench to fill in for Matthias. So
no, it's and wow, that's very interesting. You don't see the injury report too much there in the heavy metal music, but it does exist.
So for those of you, for our fan in Germany listening, hope you didn't have tickets because that's going to be a bugger to get that figured out. I think, sir, that is all I have. Yep, that's all I got.
Well, good stuff. As always, some good stuff. Matthias Jabs, we got to appreciate him doing some of these, reviewing some Scorpions albums in the past.
Yep, very underrated because Klaus takes over and Rudolph takes all the headlines and the pictures and interviews. He takes all the interviews and the stuff, you know.
Michael
his brother's coattails still.
Previously, but Matthias, underrated. And after listening to some of his stuff during some of our reviews, I did get an appreciation for the talent that guy has. Amazing stuff. That's why we do what we do. It's good stuff. Now, next month we go into the soundtracks, of course. But any other updates, requests, feel free to comment for upcoming shows.
I'm not going to let out the spoilers on who the soundtracks are for September. You just have to
watch them picked.
We've had them picked.
They have been selected. We're not going to. Hopefully, they won't be leaked out on social media, as a lot of people are trying to, get that information.
I saw Oswald nosing through my desk. I hope he doesn't tweet it out later. But.
No, we don't want that to leak it out. But that should be good. Interesting. The next 4 weeks, that is heading into fall.
I guess back to school, get you back. Now, these are all 80s soundtracks, just so you know.
Okay.
We have done some soundtracks in the past, but this is going to be just soundtracks only this month. So there we go. We'll go if you want to have like a little pool to see what four I'm going to pick. Good luck.
I like it. All right. Have a good week, everyone. See ya.